everyone, today I'm going to play for you Simon Phillips Vintage Drums for Groove Agent. These drums bring you the iconic drum sound of Simon's 1970s and early 80s work. These drums were recorded at Phantom Recording Studio in LA with the legendary sound of the same vintage Ludwig Octoplas kit that Simon used when he wrote history as a drummer for Whitesnake, Judas Priest and the Michael Schenker Group. Let's have a listen. The first thing I want to do is I want to play for you some of the presets. I want to say straight away that all the presets have already patterns in there. So if you want to get started creating your own grooves and your own drum tracks, you can start in no time. So the first preset I want to play is called Heavy Groove, and let's have a listen. So as you can hear, we're talking about a really big drum sound, but at the same time, we have lots of dynamics control, lots of expression. So I can start from really ghost notes on the snare, and then have all this entire range. So we have, of course, the toms. We have two kick drums. So if you want to do double kicks, very easy. But there are many other elements spread across the keyboard. So let's play all of them. Floor toms here, an alternative snare. Alternative hi-hats. And we even have rototoms. Let's go and listen to the patterns for this preset. I'm going to click on the pattern button here. And as you can see, we have intros. We have main grooves. Fills. And if you want to use any of these patterns, you can just drag and drop them into your DAW. And then you have your MIDI part and you can completely edit it to your heart's content. I'm going to play another preset. This is called Dripping. Let's listen to a few patterns here. This one's called Lots of Room. I love this one, this is very punchy. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to load the initial Simon Phillips Vintage Drums preset, and this is a starting point so that you can start creating your own sound with Simon Phillips Vintage Drums. You can really hone your sound in very easily, and let me show you how. First of all, let's play it exactly how it is when you load it. One thing that I can do straight away is I can switch my snares around. So if I click on the snare here, you will see I have snare A. But I can just as easily go to snare B, which is a little bit more deep tuned. Very big and punchy. Let's go for snare C. D, E, and F. Now, one thing that you can do straight away is that you can choose how much room level you're going to have for each element. So if I want to have less room for my snare, I can just drop the room level, or I can have more. So depending on how roomy you want every element to be, you have full control here. And you can also select the level for your overheads. So if you really want an in-your-face, very tight sound, you can just turn this down completely. You can also control the resonance and the reverb level. Now, here's one thing that you need to be aware for Simon Phillips Vintage Drums. If you go to the mixer, don't miss this, there's a reverb room fader here. This will give you this amazing characteristic of the room that has been designed specifically for this library. So you can get a super big sound like this. And this is what this reverb level controls here. See? So you can create some really big sounding snares. Now, if you go to your kick drum, select my kick drum, I can say I don't want any reverb because I might want my kick drum to be a little bit more tight. But I can have the room mics or the overheads. So let's play what we've created up to this point. And if you want to sculpt your sound even more, you can come here and change the room level for the entire drum kit. The overheads. can add EQ, compression, tape saturation, and envelope shaper for each one of the elements. So if I go to my snares, for example, I can add a little bit of envelope shaper to add a little bit more attack. And I can even change the sustain. And all these things you can do right inside Groove Agent. And it goes without saying that if you want to start going deep into your mix, you can select your kicks. So now we have the channels for the kicks. So kick A and kick B. Snares, we have the main snare and the side snare like I showed you earlier. And then we have the toms, toms 1 and toms 2. And lastly, the cymbals. So you can create your own presets using the mixer inside Groove Agent. And of course, if you want, you can always export this into Cubase with the export mixer and effects to Cubase and export mixer to Cubase functions. I'm going to leave you with one last sound. I hope you enjoyed Simon Phillips Vintage Drums and I hope you have loads of fun with them. I'll see you on the next one.